I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Nelson. Orison.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
Wunschel.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Volk.
Here.
All right, item number 1, consent agenda. Motion to approve city council minutes of September 19th, 2022. B, licenses, approve renewal of Class C native spirits license with Sunday sales and outdoor service for Century Farm Distillery. Approve catering, outdoor service, and Sunday service for the Hen House and Peckish at the Hen House. Class C liquor license with Sunday sales for El Tapatio. Item C, motion to approve contract with K&W Electric for the 2022 Grand Avenue Traffic Signal Upgrades Project for $539,900. Item D, roll call resolution adopting final assessment schedule for the City of Spencer 2022 sidewalk construction project and confirming and levying assessments. Finally, item E, a motion to approve Northwest Landscaping, Inc. as subcontractor for the 2022 North Water Quality Project.
So moved.
Been moved by Lauren, second?
Second.
Second by Tracy. Any discussion? Any questions? If not, vote by machine. Do I get a choice? Yeah, I guess I do.
Orison, I. Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Volk, I.
All right, we have no public hearings for this evening and no old business. And under new business is a motion to approve grant of permanent utility easement and temporary construction easement with Stephen and Camilla Koenig for the Woodland Avenue Box Culvert Replacement Project.
I'll make a motion on that.
Motion made. Second?
Second.
Second by Donovan. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Item B, under new business, motion to approve change order number 1 to 2019 landfill PCC driveway pavement project to reflect as-built project quantities for a decrease of $6,881.75.
So moved.
Moved by Lauren, second?
Second.
Second by Donovan. We got equal size here tonight. How about that? Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Item C, roll call. Resolution accepting work on the 2019 landfill PCC driveway pavement project.
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay. Second? Second by Tracy. Any discussion? Vote by machine, please.
Orison, I. Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Volk, I.
Item D, roll call resolution approving Adam Severson as planning director for the City of Spencer beginning September 26th, 2022.
So moved.
Moved by Lauren, second. Second by Tracy. Brian? Any discussion?
He'll come up probably when he's doing a plan.
Yep.
Okay, then we can introduce him
Yeah,
to the
you bet.
public, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any discussion? If not, vote by machine, please.
Orison, I. Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Volk, I.
Item E, review quotes received on the 2022 intake replacement project.
So moved.
You want to review
Yep, let's get him.
Good evening. I think you probably have a bid tab there in front of you for the 2022 intake replacement project. We ended up getting one competitive quote from Corey Jurgens
I'm
Construction.
not too sure we do.
I don't think we
In the packet, but we don't have one in front of us, so go ahead.
Okay.
Yep, yep. Okay, gotcha.
So for that one quote, we received a quote for $68,345.00. The engineer's estimate was a little over $54,000. Total budget for that project, I believe, is right around $60,000 to $61,000. I think with conversation with Brian and Dan and Mark White, I think we've come to the conclusion it might be best to try and put this project with the 2023 project. I think you're seeing higher costs for several reasons, just like everything else. I know concrete prices went way up right before this project was quoted, and so that's some of the extra costs you're seeing. But just a comparison, last year we did work on 9 intakes for the 2021 job, and on this project we only had 7 intakes being repaired. So costs are up a lot compared to last year. So I think it would be our recommendation to reject this bid, this quote, and try again with another project to make a bigger project. Hope to get some economy of scale.
So do you see any problem? There weren't any real trouble ones that absolutely needed to be done? And
There's lots of intakes to repair.
yeah, well, I know,
But yeah, in the street department also repairs intakes.
Right,
so,
I know.
So if we
If-
see something that's completely failing, they usually jump on it.
right,
So,
yeah. So
several of these just need to be in the program to be fixed, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there a motion that we reject the quotes?
I'll make that motion.
Donovan, second, or second? Second by Brent. Any discussion? Any other questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Item F is the motion to approve change order number 2 to 2021 Spencer PD parking lot project to reflect as-built quantities for a decrease of a whopping $202.20. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that
Brad, is there a second? Tracy, second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Item G, a roll call. Resolution accepting the work on the 2021 Spencer Police Department parking lot project.
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay, Ron, second?
Second.
Second by Donovan. Any discussion? Any
Chief,
questions?
yeah, I was just gonna say to the chief, you haven't seen any issues, you've been there driving it now for, everything is up to your standards? All right, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, vote by machine.
Orison, I. Larson, I. Wunschel, I. Hanson, I. Reed, I. Bulk, I.
Motion passed. Okay, moving on to department head reports. We get to introduce Adam Severson. Adam, come on up.
There we go.
There's a learning curve here.
Good
so.
evening, everyone. First, I want to start out with a warm thank you to everyone who's been so welcoming, staff, council, and others assisting me in my role transition. Like I said, good evening. The monthly building permit report has been sent out for you guys' viewing pleasure for the month of September. And with the Clay County Fair and cooler temperatures, the planning department has seen a slight decrease in inspections, but building permit applications remain steady. On the nuisance side of things, planning department has performed the final round of tree inspections last week, and properties out of compliance has dwindled to 22 out of the initial 608 that were notified back in July. And we do have the city ordinance trimming scheduled for late October with the city contractors. So last year it was about 24, and that dwindled to 16 abated. So I would assume it's going to be fairly similar. And then other than that, the department is performing inspections as they come in, along with fielding and pursuing complaints. So, any questions?
A question on those 22, because I think some of them just wanted it done. You'll reach
Sure.
out to those, you've been in contact,
Yes,
obviously.
correct. And then through the month, I progressively, if I get a few minutes, I do right-of-way checks or anything, I'll I'll take the grade route out and check the properties that are remaining, since it'll only take 45 minutes
Right, with
about to
that
get to
pe-
them. And I think city contractor has approximately 10 on his list that are out of these 22. So it could be less than 10 abated, I'm hoping, so.
All right, me
But
too.
Everyone's been very attentive, and some a little bit of pushback, but nothing too terrible.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Well, thank you.
You got, I think, emails from library and the fire. No reports there, but we got the written reports for that. Chief, police chief?
Good evening. The police department responded to 1,537 calls for service the month of September, and we performed 41 arrests. September, obviously, Clay County Fair. And so we had officers staffing the law enforcement booth, as well as we provided extra security for the grandstand events and the midway. Month of September had officers attending various meetings, behavioral health advisory meeting, the high-risk entry and arrest executive meeting, treatment coordination meeting, homelessness meeting, held at the Clay County Administration Building. So September, we've been busy as far as between the fair and several of these meetings. It seems like the fall has been good to us here. So as well as emergency management and we performed active shooter training for 2 local churches here in town. As well as we had homecoming, and so officers were dealing with the homecoming parade. And I'd like to thank the Public Works employees for assisting with that event. Without them, that would be impossible. Even though it's only on 10th Avenue East, there's a lot of intersections and a lot of people that are in there. So, but other than that, that's all I have for you. Any
On the
questions?
school year, on the middle school, this has been the second year. Has that shown a vast improvement? I mean,
Very much so, very much so. And, you know, and likewise, the parents, they're finding their little niches, you know, different from when school starts the first week compared to later on down the line. They find their little blocks that they sit in so that they don't have to go back there. But by far and away, we have not had a single complaint from the school administration. Because of that, they like the idea and think that the plan is working well for them, so.
I'm glad things work out for us once in a while. So,
We'll take luck any day.
It's a great deal.
I still see people turning left.
Oh, yes. And that's something that we should probably discuss a little bit is, you know, it's right turn only coming out of the middle school. And a lot of the parents, when they get stopped, seem to think that, well, it's not school time, so I can go ahead and turn to the south. You can't. It's right turn only. There's a flashing light on there. There's not much more we can do as far as drawing that attention to them. So that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we just ask that people follow that, so.
Maybe you just change your residence and just live there.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks, chief.
Yeah, right. Evening, council. Since we're on the Clay County Fair topic, we did our annual preparations for the fair week, routine maintenance on the sewers, leaving the fairgrounds, surrounding areas, along with no parking signs and sweeping. I just want to give a shout out to the sanitation department, weaving their way through the fairgrounds with all the people. There were no accidents or injuries, so that's hats off to those guys. Have a project currently going on with SMU, 14th Avenue project, water main and sewer separation. The landfill has received the excavator that you guys approved for purchase. And street division's busy with the sewer maintenance projects, finishing up some asphalt street repairs, replacing some ADA sidewalk approaches, and yeah, I want to thank those who attended the first round of the facility plan, and looking forward to Monday's second round for the rest of it.
Is that
Thank you.
Monday again or Tuesday? Monday. Okay.
All right, thanks, Mark. Parks and Recreation, Bob Fullard starts next Monday, I believe, on the 10th. Yes. That's correct. And with that, golf course, Brian.
Good evening, everyone. I sent out quite a bit of information yesterday in an email for everyone, and I would just like to extend that to the folks watching at home, the general public, they can go to our website, spencermunigolf.com, click on the course schedule page, and go over to the right, and we have our blog on there. So they can read pretty much the same thing that the council and the golf board members are getting for information each week if they have questions. And then I'd just like to touch on a couple of those items that were in the report. The first one is with our well at the golf course. We have, the contractor is going to be on site on Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to remove the pump from the well and then remove the well casing. And then we'll evaluate what the situation is with those two and try to form a plan moving forward with that. So we have not been irrigating our fairways for a while now because the amount of water that's in our pond is what we have left to irrigate for the rest of the season. So
Has it helped the roll?
Pardon?
Has it helped the roll?
I have had a lot of positive comments about driving distance. A lot of guys have added a lot to their games. So yes, we're just trying to focus on irrigating greens to make sure that those stay healthy and occasionally the tee boxes. So hopefully we get some answers that aren't too horribly in the wrong direction later this week. The second thing is the pond on number 10. I'm trying to stay in touch with some of the homeowners over there to keep them abreast of what's going on. That pond is currently empty. It had a slow leak in it most of the year, and it's been taking probably 2 to 3 weeks for it to drain all the way down. I stopped filling it so that we can get in there to try to figure out what the problem is. There was a pond liner that was installed in the pond when we did construction back in 1999, and then that membrane was laid in the pond. It was covered with, I believe, 18 inches of small rock, and there was also an old 18-inch county tile that went through that area of the golf course. So my assumption is that that tile, when they constructed the pond, is causing part of the issue to where we're losing the water in there. So right now we're trying to find the tile in the pond without damaging the membrane in the rest of the areas, and I think that we're going to just need to go to get some help from Public Works possibly to come down and use a backhoe to expose the tile outside of the pond so that we can address that, and then we'll get that fixed and the pond will have water in it again. So we do not plan on filling it in. We plan on it remaining a pond as we move forward. Does anybody have any questions for me about anything? Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Demands on the city attorney's time were down substantially in September, less than half what they'd been the preceding couple of months. Nothing really unusual. I addressed in my statement, I noticed 26 total topics, so lots of different things, but none of them were too demanding. Unless there are questions, that's all I have to say.
Questions for Don? Thank you, Don. Human Resources, Jessica?
Good evening. So in the month of September, some things I've been working on. I attended an ICMA webinar on competitive pay for the public. Completed a human resource management recertification course to make sure that I'm current. Met with Dan and the Spencer Fire Association representatives on continuing with the work that we're doing on some updated processes, and that's going really well. City staff performance review check-in conversations were held last month, and those went well. I appreciate all the city staff working on those things that I torture them with, but they are very beneficial. We're looking at some software solutions to potentially automate that process. It's a little bit time-consuming, but nobody was complaining, so I appreciate that. Recruiting efforts included interviewing for the 2 director positions that have been filled. So you met Adam this evening, and Bob Fullhart, as you mentioned, will start next Monday the 10th, and he's raring to go. He, I'm sure, would have been here tonight if he could have made it. So he's already contacting me for contact information. He may reach out to some of the council and the park board. So we're really excited to have him join. Current open positions, a dispatch position has come available full-time. That's to backfill an upcoming retirement in December. And another full-time position to backfill Adam's position as building services official is open. And then we're adding a position that was in the budget at the landfill, Equipment Operator 2, which requires a CDLA. So if anyone is interested, they can go to SpencerIowaCity.com. There's a careers page now, and they can apply there, and there's all the details. We're at 263 days since we've had lost time due to injuries, and that's due to the city staff doing a really good job. So shouts out to them. They did safety training this month, or last month rather, included fire extinguisher training and then some office safety training. And lastly, we had our quarterly all-staff meeting that was well-attended, but a shout out to the street department that always has the best attendance. I think they come for the brownies, but they paid attention because they had good questions, so I don't care. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Jessica. Engineers report.
Good evening again. Quick update on several projects. On the North Water Quality Project, BD Construction has completed the work at the QRS site. They actually got the seeding done today, so that part of the project is done. They plan to start in the middle of the week, I think this week, Thursday, Friday maybe, on the North Mall site. And hopefully within a couple weeks, they'll be done with that project. On the 2022 HMA overlay project, Beck Excavating was in last week and completed the manhole adjustments and also the rest of the concrete patching work. That project is complete other than a few minor punch list items. Out at the wastewater treatment plant, the driveway replacement project, DeLoss Construction's been pretty busy out there. They have the main driveway complete. They've been working on all the tie-ins on several sides of the building. For parking lots there and getting to the building. It sounded like they had a couple pours left this week, and then they'll also be done out there. As Mark Craig mentioned earlier, the city is doing a joint project with SMU on the 14th Avenue water and sewer project. West 4th Street still remains closed. Valley Contracting is the contractor. They did complete 2 water main tie-ins today at Tompkins Court and at the southeast corner of the cemetery. And so hopefully tomorrow we'll start concrete patching on 4th Street. And hopefully by the end of the week or the beginning of next week, we'll get that street open back up. So, the other last thing was the Northwise subdivision. We did get survey control set last week and started the topography survey. There was also a joint utility meet this morning through Iowa One Call to get all the locators on the same page and get them some drawings to kind of focus on some areas for them so we're not locating 100 acres at a time. So that's all I had unless there's questions.
Any questions?
Hey Ross, on the North Y, when do you think you might have something ready for us to take a look at?
Probably I know Jim and Brian have both kind of been working on that a little more than I have, but we can get you an update. I'll get with them tomorrow and see if we can't send you something by email.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
City managers report.
I was also at the Iowa League of Cities meeting that the mayor sent you an update on. I attended the splash pad one that he attended. There was some good information there. I also attended one that has to do with managing volunteer firefighters and some legal issues that go along with that. There's been some legal changes and look at our ordinances, but got that under control. Went to one on housing. It was a bunch of smaller cities sharing kind of what they're doing for housing. Interestingly, one city, I believe it was Carroll, was writing a $20,000 check to anybody that built a new house, which I'm out of their art money, which doesn't seem like it fits to me or Brian, but apparently they're doing it. And then I went on one that measured your emotional intelligence. I scored very well.
Did you get coaching from Jessica?
Yes.
Any questions for Dan? Next item is mayor's report. I know Dan was there as well as a number of other council members, the chamber annual meeting last week. It was well attended and congratulations to the chamber. One of the observations that I had was the number of I'd call new core people beginning to take over at the chamber level, young folks being involved in the Chamber of Commerce. I think that says a lot for our city. We should be proud of that. And my next item, not to be outdone by the mayor, I'm going to give you a history report tonight. Interesting enough, on this day in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued a proclamation designating the last Thursday in November as Thanksgiving Day. And this next one is interesting. Is on October 2nd of 1967, Thurgood Marshall was sworn in as the first African-American justice of the Supreme Court. And if you were on board with what happened today, Chief Justice Ketanji, I think I pronounced that right, Brown Jackson was sworn in as the first female African-American justice of the peace, 25 years after Thurgood Marshall. With that, council and committee reports. You got it.
Better put my eyes back on.
There you go.
We got, like somebody mentioned, we have the facility tour next Monday, the 10th, 5:30. We're going to look at the central garage, East Leach, and the library. Lauren, you still doing the long-term planning on the 13th? So we're doing that long-term planning committee meeting on the 13th, and then our regular city council meeting on the 17th.
Okay. Any questions?
What time is the long-term planning?
5:30.
Everyone get that, 5:30?
Yep.
Okay. All right, next item, a motion to approve the claims and bills.
I'll make that motion.
There you go, Brian. Second?
Second.
Second by Donovan. Any questions about that? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Other business or opportunities to address the city council? Seeing none?
Bill?
Yes.
I just want to make one thing, as we start entering into the fall, which is also budget and CIP time, Finance Committee will be working on, as we've continued our discussions regarding the CIP, but for the council, I mentioned this to department heads last week, probably within the next week or so, look for an email from myself with a survey, trying to get some basic questions, regarding the process with the CIP and that, so, we'll be working on sending a survey out to all the council members. Like I said, probably towards the end of this week, first part of next, so just be watching your email for that, so.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. Any other business? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.